I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What do you mean, calm it down? It's a fight. Referees telling two fighters who want to fight to calm it down? He should calm down.
I saw he's like a clown in his show, man. He's not your guy.
Because Tyson Fury's back, and all you motherfuckers are under attack. Look, Eddie Hearn can say all what he likes. Who gives a shit what Eddie Hearn says? It's garbage.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Can you let me retire and be happy? Please, just please.
Bombs away from the Bronx Bomber!
Wanda! Let's go, baby! Let's go! I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit. I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
I got dropped, man.
Are you kidding?
No, you won the fight.
OMG, I am so excited.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up? What is up, MCR family? Another daily edition of the show live on YouTube, obviously podcast forum, iTunes, Spotify, radio, etc. We have a ton of topics, previews, breakdowns to get into, so I'm not even going to waste your time. I am Matt, the Hipster Hunter. You can like the show, share the show, all that fun stuff. Patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio. Going to preview, obviously, all of the weekend's action and the news of the day, which is plenty. But, of course, joined today with a full panel. Hold on. In the middle of the day, full panel. Shout out to us, right? Joined by the illustrious Mr. Robbie Hearn, second cousin, twice removed of Sir Eddie, and the Han Solo of the group. Rob, how you doing?
All good, all good. Plenty of news to talk about. Yard, Kovalev, Callum Smith, Gilberto Ramirez, maybe. A bunch of stuff.
Stay off the weed.
That's not happening.
Klitschko looking for that bag, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, and obviously fight weekend, ton of cards to get through. So Fugati, how you doing? Chewbacca.
Where's the soundbite, Rob?
Yo, let me unmute that real quick. Doing good, guys. How are you?
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah, thank you for my intro. Appreciate that. Funny enough, that's the same sound Chewbacca makes in Lego Star Wars if you try to put him over one of those question mark parts and he calls for Han that way. But, you know, for all you Lego Star Wars players out there.
You've obviously been playing Lego Star Wars with your son far too much. Oh, my God.
I knew what he was talking about. We're good. Same page.
Matt's face. I love it.
Keep going. Go.
Yeah. Hey man, lots to talk about. Let's just get going. We've been fucking bouncing away here in the little green room for a little bit now. So I'm ready.
Santiago saying looks like there's an issue on the receiving end. Can't hear anyone but Matt on Blog Talk. I don't know why that's an issue. My advice would be maybe to hang up and call back in, Santiago. See if that works. Otherwise I would have to cancel Blog Talk and create a whole new thing. So try that, Santiago, and let me know if that works. And also YouTube, let me know if there's any issues as well. Skype, Mixed Combat Radio, you guys know what to do. Add me there. But anyways, let's get to, like you said, Fu, let's get to the fights this weekend. Let's tackle with Lomachenko, Crolla first, because let's just be honest, that is the biggest fight on the biggest network. I can't really say that. It's on ESPN+. It's connected to the biggest network in some way. But anyways, digressing. Obviously, Lomachenko, Crolla, Top Rank, ESPN+. Fu, your thoughts on this card, the main event, all that fun stuff?
Well, obviously, I'm the biggest Lomachenko fan.
Yeah, we know
probably
that.
On the panel.
Yeah, we know that.
I'm really excited. It looks like Crolla is in fantastic condition for this fight. I listened to what is a really good sit-down interview with is it Red 32? I don't know what it is, but it's like TKO's the program. I linked it in the chat. It's like an hour long. It's him and Frampton talking, and it's
yes.
pretty fun chat that they do. And just listening to Crolla, like you can tell he's just a fantastic guy. What a great opportunity for him to, have a big money fight. I mean, I'm sure he's going to get paid well. I think Lomachenko is going to win, of course, but it's always good to see people get tested. So I hope Crolla comes in with the intention of really winning the fight, which I think he does, and trying to put it on Loma and really making Loma prove himself. So, and Crolla's been in there with some great talent, and he's been around a long time, and he's a past world champion. So, it's not like it's the worst fight ever. It's a mandatory. So I'm excited for Crolla, and I think people should stop talking shit to him online about taking this fight because it's kind of annoying. But
before I go to Rob, I just want to address the whole criticism of this fight because obviously this is a mismatch. Like, I think that's pretty obvious that Lomachenko is vastly better than Crolla in every sort of category. However, he is a little bit of a victim of his division right now. The division itself is not entirely deep. Crolla is a top 10, top 15 guy. I would argue top 10, to be honest. And even though he's top 10, he is still a mismatch with Lomachenko. So it's one of those situations where, of course, this fight isn't the greatest competitive fight, but it's also not the same as Spence Ocampo and certain other mandatories that come to mind in recent memory. This is by far and away a better mandatory than recent ones that have been put out and promoted heavily. But yes, I mean, Lomachenko is going to dance around Crolla and make him look like an amateur at times, to be honest, with my opinion. I think Crolla might get a late finish, but Crolla is a tough guy. I think Lomachenko most likely would get the unanimous decision win and win all 12 rounds in a real technician display of what he can do. But Rob, your thoughts on Lomachenko, Crolla, your countryman, going against the odds, fighting the Ukrainian mastermind. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think he'll give a real good account of himself. And I won't be surprised if this goes to decision, to be honest. I think Crolla isn't the type of guy to quit on his stool. We saw him against Linares, like his corner, in the second fight, wanting to just throw the towel in and say, no, you don't need to go out there for that last round. You haven't done this, you haven't done that. And he was like, no, I'm going to finish this fight. I think depending on Lomachenko's approach to it, Crolla might have little spots of success. I think he'll tuck his head in behind his gloves. He'll come forward, keep his elbows in nice and tight. And I'm not saying it like he's going to, nick rounds or win any, rounds or, anything like that. But I just think he'll give a good account of himself. He's 100% like given his heart and soul to the sport. And this is his his big moment. Obviously, he's a massive underdog, and no one's expecting him to come away with this. But he's going in with just a real professional sort of outlook on it, and he's not in there saying, "I'm gonna." He kind of is, but it's more not a cocky or something you feel like you've got to say. He's like, I'm gonna come and try and upset the apple cart. No man is completely unbeatable. He's been beaten before. So I'm going to go in there and I'm going to give it my best shot. And, it's going to be what it is. But I've seen a lot of people saying this isn't selling very well. Friday night in LA is not
it's not a good time.
Not a good idea to be trying to put a fight on. And for Bob Arum to be saying Eddie Hearn don't know shit about the US. Well, this is your event, Bob. So nice one.
Yeah,
he's a dick.
Bob's tripping on when he's talking about like, this is such a shitty fight. Like, how am I supposed to promote this? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, Bob, it's your job. And plus, LA is honestly top ranked territory. Like it's them and Golden Boy. They sort of share LA in terms of like that being their stomping grounds. In the West Coast overall, but Top Rank has long been a LA entrenched property, an entity. Even Lomachenko on top of that, like they They sort of did like the Triple G route with Loma back when they brought him over on HBO. Remember that? Like they wanted him to be like the adopted son of LA, similar to Triple G. And I would say it worked quite well for Lomachenko. But this isn't the greatest opponent for a LA fight. Let's just be honest. There's no huge British population in LA. There is potentially in New York, or they're more willing to travel for New York. Let's be honest. On top of that, this is a Friday night, as Rob says, and that's obviously not a great time in LA, I think, for big fights, for big venues. And like I've said, this isn't really the biggest fight. So when you add all these up, it's going to be hard to sell. It just is. And I've always said LA is a very tough town to sell tickets in, especially compared to other cities in the U.S. LA is much harder to sell the 15,000 plus amount of tickets in. We saw Wilder Fury hit, 14,000, right, Rob? We saw, I think, Mikey and Robert Easter hit similar numbers, and Mikey is Mexican-American from LA, and he only hit that 14 number. It's very hard to hit that. Santiago also adding traffic is awful on a Friday, too. Yeah, another great point. I don't want to drive in traffic to the Forum, right? This fight's at the Forum. Let me look at that. I think so. Have it up. Yeah, the Forum. No, sorry, Staples Center. Sorry, the wrong fight up. Staples Center. Oh my God. Staples Center, for those that don't know, it's downtown LA. So if you don't live in downtown, you got to drive into LA. And you have to drive in for fight time around 4 or 5 p.m., right? And that is peak rush hour in LA traffic. Fuck, I would hate to do that.
Well, don't get there too early. There's like 4 fights on the card at the moment.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
It's not even any pending.
Yeah, that's true, Rob. I was waiting for like the list of fights that are pending versus TBA, and not even that. Nope, just 4 fights. ESPN Plus card. Here you guys go.
ESPN has 7 fights listed, but they're all shit.
Box Rec has 4.
Okay, well, ESPN, I guess this is Andres Ferrari, has 7 fights up on the undercard, but they're all garbage. There's not a second good fight on this card.
There's a second good fighter in Gilberto Ramirez, but he's fighting Tommy Carpensi. And like, no offense to Tommy Carpensi, but he's not a relevant player anymore. And I would argue Gilberto like kind of peaked in his last fight. Like, this is the time to really maximize on Gilberto. And obviously, we're going to talk later about the Callum Smith fight later on in the year and them alluding to that and them talking about working on that for later this year. But this seems like a very unnecessary showcase fight, in my opinion, for Gilberto Ramirez. And this is honestly just a showcase card in a lot of ways.
Does this just speak to like what we've spoken about before about how weak Top Rank Stable really is?
I think that obviously is part of it. I think on top of it, like I think for Lomachenko, for example, he's a victim of his division. You know, a unification was Pedraza. You know, like that is an indication of how deep this division is at 135 at this very moment, even though maybe past years it was much deeper. And again, I talked about the schedule. This is an ESPN Plus card. They're sticking in the Forum, and I think that's kind of a cheap venue for a lot of places.
Staples.
Sorry, Staples. I keep saying the Forum. Fuck. Then never mind. My point's mute. Then it is, because if it's Staples, then in theory, it's a big fight. Staples is usually reserved for bigger fights. If this fight was at the renamed StubHub Center, which is what the Dignity Health and Parks Recreation, some bullshit, which is so upsetting. If it was at the Forum, or if it was at smaller venues, even the Nokia Theater, I think this would be. I think that's been renamed as well. I forget what's been renamed to. If it was at one of those theaters in LA, it would make sense. If it was at a max 10,000 seater, it would be great. But it's not. It's at a 25,000 seater, 30,000 seater. If you're really thinking about it, when they start putting people on the floor, it makes no sense to me. On top of that, like you say, Fu, it is a factor of the lack of the top ranked stable, the lack of depth to it, and on top of that, the lack of depth in this division at lightweight,
and how good Lomachenko actually is.
Also, another factor. I don't think that's the major part of it, but it is a factor that Lomachenko is so good that everyone in the division looks so inferior. Jorge Linares went to war twice with Crolla, and that was a big deal. And now, in perspective, we're thinking that Lomachenko is going to walk through Crolla like it's a knife through butter, right? So it shows, like you say, Rob, the context of how highly we rate Lomachenko in comparison to his peers. Even though
he's a victim of his own division, but also he is the top of that division by what I would say is quite a long way. So without Lomachenko, it's, in a way like a better division because it's a more competitive amongst the rest of the guys. But because he's at the top of that, it's a victim of his own success and possibly a weaker division than normal. But if it was without Loma, then maybe it would seem competitive.
Absolutely. Like maybe if this might seem like a stretch because even then I feel like it's a pretty one-sided fight. But if this was like Richard Comey, Anthony Crolla, would we scoff at it as much, or at least would boxing Twitter scoff at it as much as Loma Crolla? No, but it would still be a one-sided fight, though. I would argue. Like I would say there's a clear top 2 or 3, 4 guys in the division, and then everyone else is like from 5 to 15 is sort of the same. And we have some nice prospects after that, like a Devin Haney, like a Teofimo Lopez, that could break into that top at any moment here. But Santiago's right. My mind's 100% on Serket Sorungsvi and Estrada, which is in 2 weeks at the Forum, which I have applied, and MCR is applied for credentials. So prayers up for that. So we get that. Also, go at Matchroom and tell him to do that. That'd be cool. Any other thoughts or points about this card, gentlemen?
No, but they can at Anthony Lever as well.
Yes, Anthony's awesome. I should go email him.
But this card, if like I say, I'm looking at the 4 on the list at the moment. I mean, Mike Alvarado's in there. I mean, I think we've discussed we might do a live fight chat, seeing as it's the Friday and you're not at the barbecue, Matt. So
yes,
we'll try and set the alarm and do this one. I can be here to wave the flag.
Yes, I might have to set the alarm too. I'll take a nap. That sounds like a great time.
Yeah, because it starts late, right? Like 9 o'clock my time, I think, or something.
Really?
I want to say it's like
it's starting that late.
I want to say that's what I read. Let me double check though.
I hope it's like the main event starts that late.
Yeah.
Like okay,
that's what I mean.
What if it's the main event? That's fine. But if it's the whole card, that'd be awful. Because don't forget the Vajdic card the other week. That was after the UFC card on ESPN or ESPN Plus. It was late. Like the card started at like 8 p.m. or 7 p. Like 8 p.m. my time. Like started super late my time. Maybe even 9 p.m. my time. I hope they don't experiment with super late times for fight cards. That makes zero sense to me.
It's 8 your time, 10 my time for the main event.
Main event or main
is
card?
What it's saying. Main event.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Main event Friday at 11 Eastern.
Let's get to the fight of the weekend, guys. Let's be honest. Clarissa Shields, Christina Hammer. I'm not going to sit here and try to say it's the biggest female or women's boxing fight of all time. Mainly because I'm just not... I don't have the knowledge to really speak on that. I'm just being completely honest. However, this is obviously the biggest women's boxing fight in the U.S. in a very long time. We can say that without a doubt. And let's be honest, even though it's a very nationalistic sense or idea, the U.S. marketplace does sort of dictate a lot of the global boxing trends. So if women's boxing in the U.S. is booming, it will boom in other markets as well. So again, I'm not going to sit here and talk about Shields Hammer best women's boxing fight of all time, but I will say it's definitely the best women's fight in a very long time. I'm excited to see it. I think it's one that obviously has a stylistic matchup we can sort of see. Hammer's the person that's going to be on her toes, on the back foot, using the jab, trying to create distance, trying to create some breathing room to get her offense going, and really sort of negate the forward aggression of Claressa Shields. And Shields is obviously going to try to slip under that jab, duck under the jab, roll under it, whatever it may be, and connect with really hard combinations. I wish this fight was a 12-round, 3-minute round fight. It's not. That's a battle for another time, unfortunately, but cannot wait for this fight. I think Shields is the obvious favorite for a reason. I think Hammer, when we have seen her at sort of the big stage against names we know, I'm not going to say she's looked lackluster, but she's looked a little bit mediocre at times. While Shields, I would say, most of the time has looked dominant. And the only thing that's really been a huge critique of her is, in my opinion, her lack of power, especially coupled with the way she promotes herself as a knockout artist when that's not really reality. However, I think Shields' forward aggression, her volume, her cardio, those are things that are kryptonite for a person like Hammer, who we've seen in the fights like Tori Nelson, I think struggle with people that were in her face. And when she's not able to dictate the pace of the fight, she struggles and her game falls apart, in my opinion. I think Shields is going to pick up the easy win here. Maybe late finish, but probably a UD. That's probably the safe bet. But a late finish is not out of the realm of possibility in rounds 8, 9, or 10. But Shields, I think, will win this. Absolutely. Rob, your thoughts on this mega women's boxing fight?
I tend to think I'm leaning to Claressa Shields unanimous decision. Like you said, she talks like a killer, like knockout artist. But again, we've kind of discussed this. Maybe she would be if it was 3-minute rounds. The ability to get more work, but I don't know. She talks a real big game, but don't get me wrong. No hate. It's just sometimes how she talks that I'm like, nah, come on now.
It's like I said, it's what she says does not match reality. However, that does not take away the fact that she is probably going to win this fight.
Yeah. Not sure on the odds, but I think Hammer's like a 2-1, 3-1 underdog, something like that.
I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting. I want to see the fight. I'm not like massively hyped. Like I'm not all on board this whole. I mean, it's a big fight for women's boxing right now. It's two recognizable names in the sport, and the female side of things that have come together, and it's obviously for the undisputed. So yeah, good luck to them. But I see Claressa Shields just being maybe a little bit too much. Throughout the whole fight, and Hammer finding it difficult to keep her at bay for the whole fight. So I think Claressa will come on strong. I think Christina might show it early, and Claressa will sort of peg it back, and the pressure will tell, and then that's how it'll go. So I could see Claressa Shields' unanimous decision.
Fu, your thoughts on this fight?
I'm going to be the odd man out here.
I know.
I'm picking Hammer.
I know.
I am.
I know. It's sad, man.
I really don't. I don't see what everyone else sees. And you know what? I've been wrong before, so I'm not worried to be wrong. I just think
you've been wrong a lot.
Well, yeah. I mean, so have you. All of us have. It's boxing. It happens. But Shields got knocked down by Gabriel's, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Hammer will have a few knockdowns in this fight, and ultimately, I think she'll win a decision. And I just don't. I think that Shields is very hittable. She is a she's going to put herself in positions to get hit with some punches that Hammer will knock her down with. Hammer's got almost a 50% KO ratio as a woman. That's pretty high when you look at 2-minute rounds, 10-round fights for, so I don't know. I think that
there's a low question of the competition level. I will say that. I mean, let's just be honest here.
I mean, we could go through it. It's a lot of the same names.
Yeah, but look at the time. We've talked about that before, and she doesn't have over a 50% knockout ratio. She doesn't. She has 11 knockouts in 24 fights. That's not
the 44%. She's almost.
I thought you said an over 50% knockout rate. For example, the Tori Nelson fight, like that's arguably that, and Kaylee Ray's is the best names on her resume. And
she beat Ray twice. I
understand that. And Shields fought that level of competition in her second fight. You understand what I'm saying here?
But I don't think Hammer is not a two-time gold medalist.
I understand. Absolutely. But when you look at a lot of those KOs and TKOs, a lot of them early in her career, I would question the level of competition. That's just all I'm pointing out. Because those are names you don't know. Let's just be honest about it.
No, yeah, you don't know all these, but Maria Lindbergh, Tori Nelson, like she's beat all the same people. There's a higher KO percentage, and Clarissa has been knocked down already before.
Absolutely, but you fail to understand my point, or at least you deem it invaluable. And you're not differentiating what your opinion is.
Hashtag invaluable. No, I'm just playing.
All right. When I mentioned that Shields has fought the level of opponents that Hammer has fought at 24 fights, and Shields has fought that at 2 fights. We bring up that talking point when we talk about AJ and Wilder and their resumes, right?
Yeah.
We bring up when we talk about Lomachenko and Inoue when they start fighting elite level competition at their second, third, fourth, fifth fight. So why aren't we giving that, I think, credence to Shields and what she's done in 8 fights? Do you get what I'm saying?
Because
is that if you don't think that's inconsequential to the fight, then that's your opinion. But I want to know your opinion about that.
Well, what I think is that all of that matters, but that Shields is very hittable and has already been knocked down, is what I think. And I think that Hammer has power. She has displayed it, and she's had a unanimous decision. Her last fight ended in a TKO. I think 2 fights before that ended in a knockout. And then she had a unanimous decision against Tori Nelson, I believe.
Her last opponent was 6-7, my dude.
I understand that,
but you have to no. But you have to add that. You can't just say, "Oh,
but
her
other
last."
People fight 6 and 7 people and don't get knockouts.
But
other female boxers fight 6 and 7 opponents and don't get knockouts.
Let's look at Shields' resume. Has she fought a person that's 6 and 7?
She has 2 knockouts in 8 fights.
But again, look at the level of competition.
Let me pull it up.
She's fought one person that made her debut, and that's when she made her debut. She has not fought one person that had a losing resume. Not once. That had majority losses. That's not once.
I'm still picking Hammer.
The level of competition
honestly,
is grossly
it's very tough
different
for me to pick Hammer, and I'm going to tell you why.
Because
I don't like all of the anti-Shield stuff online is all racist, and it really bugs the shit out of me.
Of course.
I want to pick Shields just for that reason, but I do think Hammer will win the fight. I'm just saying it. I think Hammer will win the fight. I think everyone will be surprised.
I'll put it this way, man. I think Christina Hammer is a pretty basic boxer. And I think she's excelled for being a athletic talent with good height and good reach and a really good jab. And a lot of women in boxing don't have those things. But Shields is just a different animal. And that shows and reflects in her resume, where she's never fought someone 6 and 7, especially in a needed tune-up bout in Germany. That's all I gotta say about that. It's okay. I mean, you're gonna take your shots on Sunday show when I'm right.
I want smoke.
And shout out to Rob for also being right.
You guys can
But
take your shots when you're wrong.
But I will say this: the rest of this card not that good at all. Just being quite honest, I have really no other points about this card, unless you guys have some.
No.
Awesome. There's a lot of fights this weekend that aren't that great. The Peter Quillen, Caleb Truax card on FS1, also this Saturday. There's going to be a lot of competing fight events on Saturday, guys. Just keep that in mind. Quillen, Truax, Derevchenko making his comeback fight against the after the Jacobs loss against Jack Kilkay. What was that?
In an eliminator.
For what belt?
I forget. Let me just click on it.
Well, then quickly, as you're looking that up, Low B-Hop also on the card, facing Mario Briones, who hasn't been winning lately, but he's fought a lot of people on the come up. A good, I think, barometer fight. Money Pal is also on the card. Joey Spencer, some good prospects that PBC has been showcasing. I really don't care about the main event. I'll be honest. Like, I care about seeing Joey Spencer and Lil B-Hop and maybe Derevchenko again. But Peter Quillen, Caleb Truax are two guys that are way past their expiration date, in my opinion. But to me, it's like the Brandon Rios, Humberto Soto fight, Rob. That's this to me. So it's like, man, like I could care less about this main event. But good prospects on the undercard that I'm probably going to be far more interested in. And I'll be honest, I'll probably just tune in for those prospects, and I'll probably tune out by the main event and go watch the UFC card and something else, being completely honest. But quick picks on this card. I'm picking Truax, picking Derevchenko, B-Hop, Joey Spencer, pretty much all the A-sides. Fu, your thoughts on this card? You're muted. Damn.
Womp, womp, womp. Yeah, I'm picking all the A-sides on this card too. They seem like a bunch of showcase fights. I am excited to see Colbert fight though. You know, I'm always excited to watch him fight.
Yeah.
Rob?
Definitely. Yeah. I thought Derevchenko put up a good performance against Jacobs. I think some people felt it was closer than it was given, and in that fight. But Truax, yeah, I don't know. He seemed to like obviously come and get that win against De Gale, but I don't know. Was that just his moment? I'm not sure, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see the outcome of that one. Yeah, Chris Colbert, really like watching him fight. Money Powell, a fun fighter. Joey Spencer, yeah, some decent, like you say, sort of prospect sort of names on the undercard. So I'll be looking out for those results. See how these progress.
Rob, I saw, I was just quickly skimming like the B-sides on, this undercard, right? And I saw a Braulio, and I got really hyped for a second. But it's not it's not our Braulio, man. Damn.
Oh, damn, yeah, that would have been fun. I definitely would have been.
That guy needs to be main eventing on DAZN, let's be honest.
I need the link if that would have been our Braulio. I would have needed the link for Sean Simpson, Braulio.
Braulio Rodriguez, you're out there listening. Join MCR. You have a spot here any day of the week, man. Let's get to this awful DAZN card. Speaking of DAZN,
you think he'll like Ollie shuffle during his intro?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Jaime Munguia fighting Dennis Hogan, and Patrick Teixeira fighting Mario Lozano, and Diego De La Hoya on the undercard fighting Enrique Bernacchi. This is definitely the card that's going to get lost in the shuffle, in my opinion. If this was Munguia against anyone relevant, it wouldn't be the case. It would probably be up there with Shields and Hammer for boxing's attention. It would be over the Caleb Truax card, in my opinion. But FS1 card is better than this. I'll be honest. I think it's a better main event. It's a more competitive main event, at least. It's a better matchup, so to speak. And the undercard has more prospects that I care about, not just one prospect that I care about in Diego De La Hoya. So kind of just a ho-hum Golden Boy event. And I kind of been saying this for some time, man. Golden Boy's stable is also not the greatest. Luckily, they don't have 50-plus events that they're owed to ESPN / their respective ESPN's DAZN. They only owe, what, 10 events a year, Rob? What's the Golden Boy deal? Is it 10?
I think it was 10, yeah. I think it was 10.
That's not too bad. So you're going to get, 2 or 3 of these, and the rest are going to be kind of decent. But this is one of those 2 or 3 events that really don't matter and are all A-side, squash matches, let's be honest.
Literally the Canelo ones that are going to be really, real good. Right?
Yeah,
but,
I mean, I guess, of course. But
I mean, there's talk that Ryan Garcia is going to be on the Joshua undercard. So, Golden Boy have had a few of their fighters on some Matchroom cards. We've seen that on some of the DAZN cards. This card, I think, like you say, possibly the one that will receive slightly less attention.
Slightly.
And they can do that with Ryan Garcia because of his level of competition. He should be able to fight, 4 to 5 times a year.
6, fuck it.
Martin Ward's going to be hard work.
What was that, Rob?
Martin J. Ward's going to be difficult work for Ryan Garcia.
I mean, sure. I guess.
I think that was sarcasm.
Who the fuck is that guy?
You don't need to know that guy. Just hit me up when you realize I was telling the truth.
I mean, you know me. I'm not a Ryan Garcia
Hold
defender,
on.
so sure. Martin Ward could beat him. Sure, I'm not going to argue that. That's not the hill I'm going to die on today. 100% is not the Ryan Garcia fucking hill. So thoughts on this card? You didn't give your thoughts on this amazing DAZN Munguia card.
It's not a good card.
Yes.
I mean,
so bad.
This is really, well, no, Eddie put the other one on in Mexico City, right? So
yeah, that one was worse.
Yeah, I mean,
but this one's pretty close.
The thing is, we have a lot of good stuff coming. I don't want to. Rob is gonna get so mad.
Yeah, we haven't talked about pound for pound yet. Rob's already really pissed off at us. I can tell.
That Mexico card was a fun card.
Sure, my guy. Whatever helps you sleep at night.
If
that had Golden Boy plastered around it instead of Matchroom, Rob would be 100% in here with me saying, "Yeah, fuck that card. It was bullshit." 100% would be.
Green Shrek was there. I mean, Mexican Shrek was there.
That was the highlight of the event. That's the last thing I remember was the Shrek thing. That's the only thing I care about.
Opposed to what color Shrek?
That was a good point, Rob.
Whatever fucking color Shrek is. I realized that mid-sentence, Rob. Thanks for correcting
Maybe
me.
if you're colorblind, Rob, he's a different color. Ever think about that, asshole?
Well, you just went with it until you thought of something else to say.
That's true.
Yeah.
Rob is.
But I did think of something else. Anyways.
I'm glad I'm the nicest person on this panel.
With the worst pound for pound list.
Oh no, mine's the best.
No,
I just didn't pander to the audience like you guys did. But I mean,
whoa! I definitely did not pander to the audience. I received the most hate for my pound for pound list.
I'm never
and
gonna do that.
Secondly, no, you had the worst person in your list to put Vajdik. What the fuck, man?
No.
How are you on this show with me?
Nope. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have Mikey Garcia, who just lost.
No, I can probably put Mikey off, but you can probably admit that you can take
Triple G, who just lost.
Triple G should probably arguably still be on that list. What are you
Where
talking
have you got Lomachenko on your list, Fu? Where have you got
number
Canelo
4
on your list, Fu?
Canelo's number 2.
Oh, okay. I'm sure he's got L's on his record as well.
Yeah, but he's not coming off a loss.
People can come off a loss and still be pound for pound. What are you talking about? Yes.
When they fought a fellow.
Never. Never.
No rules to this fucking pound for pound bullshit. Let's move on. See, you nearly dragged me in then, and I fucking.
Oh, we're gonna get to it, Rob. Don't worry.
Rob's like, "Oh, let me throw AJ in here because I want to get all the UK fanboy thumbs up." Okay.
We see it.
Panderer.
Fu's list has got 4. Matt's list has got 4. I'm rocking 11 I'm rocking 11.
You hear that, guys? Go give me some likes on my pound for pound list because fucking
now
Rob
I
is
got
too,
cringy. Now I got cringy.
too happy. Look at that.
Go and edit it then.
Wipe that smile off UK Rob's face.
Anyways, gentlemen, do we want to talk about pound for pound, or do you want to talk about news?
I don't care. I'll take all the smoke.
I know. I really want to talk about pound for pound, but I know Rob's gonna be so upset.
That's it.
No, we don't. We don't have to. No.
A mic. You're the A mic.
No, we have to talk about topics that are on the title at least. Okay, we should do that at least first. Vitaly Klitschko.
Fuck his 11 likes.
Shut up.
Whatever.
Just don't worry about it, Fu. It's okay. Anyways, Vitaly Klitschko is saying that if DAZN wants my brother, they have to offer him $100 million for a May return fight. Do we care about this anymore? Like, I know this is news because I put it in the headline because it's Klitschko and $100 million, and that sounds nice, right? In the headline.
I was going to question the title, but I thought, fuck it, let him go with it.
I mean, there should have been other things in the title that are more relevant, but it just sounded really cool. But digressing, let's be 100% realistic here. There is no fucking way that DAZN's going to offer Klitschko $100 million for one fight. There's no way on God's green earth. I'm sorry.
Fight, was it?
That's what it sounded like.
I thought it was the 2 or 3 fight sort of deal. I thought that was
no. I think the way I read it, and hey, maybe I'm wrong. That's likely. You know, like we've said earlier, I'm wrong a lot. It does happen. But the way I read it was, hey, I've been reading all these, $40 million deals, the $40 million for a fight, the $120 million deal for 5 fights for all these people. He should get $100 million for a fight. That's how I read it. But like I said, I don't care about this. I thought it would be relevant to at least make fun of in a way, because what the hell are the Klitschko brothers smoking to think that they deserve $100 million for one fight? That is absolutely crazy. But floor is open for either one of you if you want to start making fun of them as well. Fu?
Wait, should we really be making fun of them, or should we be making fun of Wilder for reaching out to Klitschko to try to get a fight with him when he first came back?
Yeah.
I don't think that's out of the question.
I mean, like, I get, dude, this is like
Klitschko's a big enough name. Like, let's be honest here. If they somehow did because look, there's no way Klitschko was going to come out of retirement and fight Wilder. I don't think he was going to do that for AJ or Fury. He wanted a tune-up, right? That's sort of what's been talked about. If that came out and said, hey, he's signing with DAZN or ESPN or Showtime, and he's going to have a multi-fight deal and fight one of the respective big names in those parties, I think largely people would have made fun of it. Hardcores would have hated on it, but people are going to watch it. Klitschko's still a name. You have to be honest about that. He still does draw attention. Just not $100 million worth.
Yeah, but he was old and shouldn't be given credit, like 2.5 years ago? So.
But come on, you don't need it. You have this issue, Fu. And I
full on AJ protector, baby. Let's go.
Fu, and I have this issue too. You argue with imaginary people that aren't on this show, that are on Twitter, that are in your mentions. They aren't on this show.
No one's in my mentions.
I know.
Let's not pretend that I have anyone following me on Twitter.
In random YouTube comment sections on random videos you see, okay, those people aren't on this show. So you don't need to argue that Klitschko, if you think Klitschko was a bum when he fought AJ and was old and blah, 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 then how dare Wilder. Like, you don't need to argue that. You know that. We all think Klitschko's talented. You come back right now and beat up the bottom half of the top 5 without a doubt.
And Wilder.
I wouldn't
say it.
I wouldn't go there, but you can go there. That's your opinion. It's not mine. But
half of 5 is 2.5.
No, half of the. Okay, the bottom half of the top 10. Maybe I should have phrased it better. Fuck you, Rob. But anyways, Phil, you get what I'm saying. Like, you don't need to make this argument that, like, Klitschko, if you think Klitschko's a bum, he's a bum now, or vice versa. Like, people are, if you're not consistent, then fuck you. If you're calling to the show, be consistent. And we on this panel, I would say, are consistent.
Yeah, I'm just saying, keep it consistent.
And keep it 100. If Wilder came back, if Klitschko came back and fought, let's say, Shannon Briggs on Showtime, and then fought Wilder at the end of this year, that would be a big fight, would it not?
That'd be a great fight.
Okay.
Can I just shit on Wilder sometimes without you having to put me in my place? I mean, just let me have some fun here.
No.
Let me pander. I want 11 likes, man.
No, you can't have that, okay? Because Rob already gets all the UK love and like glorification for AJ and Eddie, and I can't allow both of you guys to have that. Because then it's me versus the world, and I hate that. So you have to be down here in the fucking...
You love it. You love it. You love
You got to get that clip. It's just me against the world, you know? Like, bring it. You got to get the puck.
Anyways, back to Klitschko. We all think this isn't happening, right? Like,
it's not happening.
Are we now pretty much certain that this Klitschko comeback is actually like dead in the water?
Oh, I'm the IBO champion. I fucking hate the chat today.
Zulu,
I'm over the chat today, bro.
Zulu, hold on. Air horns.
Fucking closing that shit.
Air horns for Zulu. That was a good joke, Zulu. But any last thoughts on Klitschko?
If you're the IBO champion, you're in good company.
Yeah, I mean,
stop, please, guys. I will talk about pound for pound right now, Rob. I swear to fucking God, do not. I will pull this car around right now, Mister.
I'm just saying, there's some very good boxers.
Okay, moving on.
Did Eubank Senior ever have the IBO belt?
Moving.
Junior does twice. 2-time holder.
I only care about Senior. I only care about Senior.
We know. Yeah. Who else? Triple G had it. Joshua's got it.
Dude, we do not support the IBO.
I hate you so much right now, Rob. I guarantee we're gonna get an IBO comment after this show. There'll be someone in the comment section talking about the IBO.
You guys didn't like the IBO.
I swear to fucking God, and I will eviscerate that person in the comment section. Anyways, let's get to Bob Arum and this whole Sergey Kovalev Anthony Yard news. Bob is claiming that Anthony Yard is fighting Sergey Kovalev in Russia. Spencer Fearon has come out on Twitter and saying, per a good source, let me get the exact words. I have it right here. As I pull it up, I have just heard from a good source that Anthony Yard has been offered $4.2 million from a Russian billionaire for the Kovalev fight. On top of that, let's get to Bob Arum's exact words on it from Boxing Social. Yes, Boxing Social.
Yeah, play that shit, Yardy, fucking idiot.
Whoa, dude, so much animosity from Rob today. God,
you know that we need to lay off the weed. I'm sorry.
Fight in Russia. Frank Warren and Yardy have agreed to terms. And we're getting an
why is it 1 year?
In June or July for that fight. But everything is a go, and an announcement will be made shortly.
Okay, cool.
He better make it shortly, because I don't think he was going to get through that fucking sentence. Jesus Christ.
Bob, lay off the weed, man.
Rob is really mad that Bob Arum had the audacity to mention Eddie's name in a fucking sentence. You can tell, man. You can tell the energy is different, man. It's different now.
You didn't say it in that sentence.
I know.
Also,
I know.
Yardy.
Also, everyone thought that Yard would duck this fight, and I think it's surprising everyone that he's willing to go to Russia.
Wait,
for it.
Do we believe it's actually happening though? I'm still not. I'm not sold on it yet. Are you?
Yeah, that Tundi. I can never say his surname, but he's the
Yard trainer manager.
He put out. It was a clip of some singing some shit like lies or sort of saying about lying. And he said, "What are all the haters going to say now?" or something. And he said, because of what I lied about, all this, we're the A side, we're not going to Russia, and I lied. And he's as if he's having the last laugh. And it's and he said, what are the haters going to say now? And I replied well, we just hated the lie. It was your lie that people were hating on. That, wait, you're the fucking A side? What the fuck are you talking? That was where. So I was like, if you go to Russia, I'm right behind Team Yard. Go and win the bout, bring it back home to the UK. But when you were saying you're the A side, we're not going to Russia. If it's anywhere, it's here. In like we fought at the Albert Hall. It was like shut the fucking.
Did you
so
add
wait,
him?
so wait, hold on. Now
replied directly to him.
So by the way, Fu, I hope you caught that on the low. Rob just admitted he is now a Yard fanboy because Yard is going to Russia and facing the Crusher Kovalev.
Wow.
Midi is Summer very upset with you.
Very hyperbolic, but all right.
Of course it is. It's my story, Rob. Let it be my story, okay?
Based off my truths.
It doesn't have to be truth or reality in these words that don't matter.
Okay.
But anyways, Kovalev Yard, I think it's a great fight. I want to see a official press release first. And if it's an ESPN on if it's in Russia on ESPN Plus, I mean that makes sense, I guess, for all parties involved. But I wonder what the time would be, like what time of day it would be. Like I would just be curious about some of the particulars of the event. If it's in Russia, if it's these two guys on ESPN Plus. But it's a good fight. I think it's Yard finally taking the massive step up. And Kovalev looks like on point right now. Like that Eloy Alvarez rematch, he looked fantastic. I would argue that was his best career performance to date. Was against Eloy Alvarez in the rematch. So it might be an uphill battle for Yard, but hell, I mean he's asked for it numerous times. So have at it, Haas. Fu, your thoughts? Kovalev Yard or Yardy, as Aram calls him.
I don't think it'll actually happen.
Thank you.
Thank you. I feel like
keep it 100.
I feel like it's kind of like this thing where it's like, oh yeah, everyone's agreed. That's the key word when everyone's like, oh, everything's been agreed to. But that doesn't mean that anything's been signed or the fight is on. It's just like we said, hey, would you go to Russia? They said yes. Now there's going to be something they don't agree to to sign the contract. And they'll back out some way and they'll do it cleverly. Like it'll be, oh, well, someone's hurt or we actually have this other fight we wanted to do. Then we're going to try that route. Something will come up. I don't think that Yard is ready for that fight. And let's be real. Kovalev's still too good for Yard.
Of course.
Any
other thoughts on the fight, gentlemen?
I think it happens. I think just the way their team's sort of now reacting to it, but I think it will go ahead.
There's definitely some smoke there. I don't know if it's fire yet, but there's definitely some smoke there, and it could potentially be a fire.
If we find out Yard wasn't good enough, what's he really lost? He went up and faced Sergey Kovalev in a world title shot after earning his way to a mandatory. So he'll come again, I'm sure. He's young in his career, barely fought at amateur. So
how old is Yard in like actual years, like not fighting years?
Jesus.
Like I don't want to hear, oh, he's young and doesn't have an amateur career.
Rob years,
I want to hear like, is he like 30 and he's young and doesn't have an amateur career? Like Unrivaled is saying 27. That seems accurate.
That seems
what?
accurate.
Why does that seem accurate?
He looks 27. Does he not?
Oh, good Lord.
If you had to guess an age for Anthony Yard, it would be like 26, 27.
Way off.
Once again, this is why you should all go like my pound for pound list on YouTube.
Because your list had fucking Vostic in it. Get out of here.
Because it didn't have Mikey Garcia?
No. You know what's worse? Having Mikey Garcia on your list and not Earl Spence. Hello, Rob.
What?
You still need to answer for that, but we're going to talk about it later.
All right.
Having Mikey on your pound for pound list and not Spence.
How old's Mikey in actual years?
I'm like 30.
Oh, that's way off. I think he's.
Is it?
31.
Anyways, let's get through these topics as fast as possible, then get to callers. I guess Blog Talk isn't working. You can try it, 323-870-4051, or obviously Skype is working. Add us on Skype, Mixed Combat Radio on Skype. But Gilberto Ramirez, Callum Smith, in the works for later 2019. Rob, I opened the floor for you. What do you think is the likelihood of this fight?
What was it? Sorry, I was chatting again.
Ramirez Smith.
Hell.
What's the likelihood of this fight happening? One guy on ESPN, one guy on DAZN. How likely is it?
I think it can happen. Reports are that it's being talked about, and both teams seem to want it. Do we get it? I don't know. It's, I guess, early days. The talk is Callum Smith's going to be on the Joshua card, so that's him looking at June, and then I guess later in the years, like 3-4 months later,
October, September, something around then, probably.
So I'm sure it could be made. I think, and yeah, I like the fight. I think Callum Smith will be too good, but that's just my flag waving opinion. But
I think it's flag waving. I think Callum Smith is probably objectively the better fighter of the two, and the bigger fighter. Yeah, you're right. Definitely is. I would also say has the better win of the two. But I just, hey, if we can get Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn working together more and more, that's great. If we get all these promoters to work together more often and it be less of an issue.
As long as we get more Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn in the same press conference together. Because when talking about the Crolla, obviously Eddie was doing his sales pitch saying, he was hit over the head with a slab of concrete, this and left for this, but he's worked his way back, given everything to the sport, and now he's in his big fight. And Bob was like, well, Eddie, I hope you keep that energy when it comes to the Kubrat Pulev mandatory to Joshua. And Eddie's like, yeah, of course. Obviously, Kubrat, he's got his own issues to deal with. I'm sure you've got some great lawyers, Bob. It's like, Bob was like, yeah, just nodding away. So more of Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum in the same room, please.
That is a good duo. Like in terms of banter, those two guys can dish it. That is for sure. Fu, your thoughts? Gilberto Ramirez, Callum Smith, the likelihood of it happening. And obviously, like preliminary thoughts on the fight itself.
I think this could happen, right? This is not. I think neither one is a moneymaker for either group, so I see like it could happen because I don't think anything's going to be. They're not going to ask for too much, right, on either side.
I think Bob might ask for a lot. I mean, he has less pieces to work with. Yeah, think about it that way. I'll put it this way: if this fight's on DAZN, I will be surprised.
Well, yeah, I don't think it will be because I don't think Eddie will care if Callum goes over and fights on ESPN because, that's what I mean. More like I think Eddie will be giving in this. And also I think.
But very quickly, just to keep on this subject here before we move on, vice versa, I think Callum Smith is going to become increasingly more valuable to Eddie Hearn, DAZN, and Sky. I think that is without a doubt going to be a possibility. I think not only could Callum Smith be used as a small mid-level venue headliner like the O2 in London, like the 20,000 seaters, but I also think if you're DAZN, you sort of want main events, and these two guys are main event fighters in a way. I would argue most of the time, at least.
And
increasingly so.
Well, my point was going to be that Eddie may use Callum as a peace offering. It's like, let me give you a big fight, and then
like an AJ Pulev.
Maybe we can work together more, like an AJ Fury or something, right? Because
I guess
eventually someone's going to have to work with the other guy, right? And give them something they don't want to get the stuff they want, right? So I see it maybe playing out that way. Like Eddie's smart enough to know, like, Bob is not an unreasonable person, like where some of the other, like maybe not that Heyman's unreasonable, but some stuff on that side has been unreasonable where there's been no budge. You know?
I mean, come on, AJ Wilder is completely different to Gilberto Ramirez, Callum Smith.
Yeah,
it just
exactly.
Is. Like,
right?
Come on, like we have to be 100% honest here. Like the stratospheres of difference between these two fights is astronomical.
But the thing is, like, it's always going to start somewhere. Like the relationships are going to start somewhere, and you're going to give a little bit, and then you get a little bit, and then you give back maybe a little bit more, and they'll work it out, right?
I would argue they already have a relationship. They've worked together in the past. Like this isn't new. I would say like I've said, these two guys are increasingly main eventers for both respective parties. So the fact that they are working together is a good indicator. However, I am still wary of us thinking that somehow whoever relents on this one will not relent on the next one, which being AJ Fury or anything like that, and the other party being okay with that. I don't think it's as a quid pro quo transaction, so to speak, like you sort of theorized, Fu. I think it's
I'm just being hopeful.
You are being hopeful. No, you are. I just think that those big fights are always a different ball game.
They are.
They are. And
100%.
And Callum Smith, Gilbert Ramirez is not those big fights, but they are main eventers, and that means something. If this was a purse bid situation, they would go to purse bid, in my opinion. They wouldn't negotiate. This would be like Hooker Saucedo, where they have to go to purse bid. Unfortunately, they're champions, so that doesn't happen here, unless the sanctioning body ordered it. But that's not going to happen, let's be honest. Yeah. So, again, be hopeful. I don't mean to rain on anyone's parade out there, but there's a sense of we have to be a little bit pragmatic about these negotiations and how they work in the grand scheme of these networks and these promoters and what fights they allow to cross the network aisle.
Yeah. And then my last point would be that I'll pick Smith, obviously.
Yeah,
I think I'm not massively in the corner of Ramirez being, super good.
He's good. No, he is good.
Yeah. But, I mean,
he may not be great.
I just never saw him as like great. He's tough as shit. He's really showed a lot of heart in his fights, but I think Smith's just better all around.
It will be interesting. It will be interesting to see Ramirez in close with his combinations, because obviously I think Smith. I'm not gonna say he's not a combination puncher, but he really isn't. He's a guy that likes to sort of look for single shots to hurt you, and Ramirez isn't that guy. He is definitely a guy that works in volume, that wants to be in your face, and is consistently working off the jab. Really, really interested to see this fight, even though I think we're all in a consensus about the winner of it. But moving on, unless anyone has any final points or thoughts about this matchup and the likelihood of it happening.
No. Again.
Oh.
Anyways, Rob, we're moving on. Speaking of Rob,
I'm just like steamrolled with this hot take of us all being soy boys and making up fabricated offenses.
James is one of the funniest trolls in the chat, though. I gotta say, he is consistently pretty good. And he's also like he understands our inside jokes to a great degree, so that allows him to have really good trolls or troll jobs in a sense. But anyways, digressing. Speaking of Rob Brandt, Rayo Moreta 2 in the works for July. It makes sense. There's not a lot of pieces for Top Rank to work with in the middleweight division, and Moreta is still a valuable commodity overseas in Japan. I would assume the international distribution rights to a Rob Brandt Moreta fight in Japan is a good little bag for ESPN/Top Rank. I would assume that's probably the large reason why they want this rematch, or the majority reason why they want this rematch. Fu, your thoughts on Brandt Moreta 2? I think it's a serviceable fight. It makes sense why they have to make it. It sucks that Rob Brandt is on that side of the street where there is literally nobody, to be honest.
Yeah. And it sucks for him that they really want to get that belt
to Moreta,
even though it's like a regular to Moreta, right? Because they want to use Moreta to put some big money in their pockets, right? So you knew this was going to happen as soon as the other fight fell through. I mean, as soon as that didn't happen, I'm like, oh, yeah, well, here's what they're going to do. Because everyone knew they were positioning Moreta for like a Triple G or something fight to make just massive money off of, right? So does it play out the same? I don't really know. I thought Moreta was going to win the first fight.
And Brandt pulled up the best game plan I've ever seen, the best execution I've seen. Way to go. But, God, that was a perfect fight he had to fight.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think Moreta will win this time. And then they will get to make some of the fights they wanted to before, because doesn't he do like massive views in Japan?
Yep.
Like 10 million or something crazy. I think they said
tens of
on
millions.
one fight.
Tens of millions.
It's so crazy, dude. That's tripping. It's like the chat is just it's undefeated today. The chat's going crazy. Soy boys, Matt's dripping in soy.
You know, I can't tell if James is actually trolling with the Proud Boys comment. That actually might be a real comment. I can't tell.
I didn't even get it. Whatever. And I am not really that bothered with Brand.
Sorry, that was not to you, Rob.
That's all right. Brant Morata, yeah. Not really that fussed, really. To be very regular about, on the other side of the middleweight division, street, whatever you want to call it. It's not really high on my agenda. But fair play, Brant, like you said, he done a real number on Morata the first time. Can Morata turn it around? I don't know. He is a little bit basic in my opinion, but he's like a poor man's Triple G.
Agreed. So we can move on. According to Elliot Setback, and we're getting this news by way of Michael Benson, because I'm not going to sit there and watch an ES News video, just being honest. Eddie Hearn saying that he hopes to catch up with Mike Garcia while out in LA for Lomachenko versus Crolla this week. He'd like to make Maurice Hooker versus Garcia, obviously for Hooker's WBO super lightweight title. I will put this on the list of fantasy right up there with like Lord of the Rings, like Star Trek. Like this is deep fantasy right here. This is never gonna happen.
This is, please drop your WBC lightweight title, and I'll dangle you this fucking 140-pound title. You can come and get that one, but he's just wanting that lightweight title vacated, so Luke Campbell can get his shot. Plus, he wants Mikey Garcia on DAZN, right? So
yeah. So I have a question. That's what I was thinking. Like with Mikey's value seemingly dropping after the Spence fight, right? Is this him positioning Mikey to DAZN? Like, we'll get you the Hooker fight at 140. You get a 3-fight contract or 5-fight contract, get some money. Because I don't think Mikey has the same value unless he goes and fights Loma. But I mean, let's be real. Is he really going to work with Bob and ESPN? I just don't think that's going to happen.
Why would he fight Hooker? Like that makes no sense to me.
And would he beat Hooker? Do you think?
Absolutely. Stop.
Oh man, I don't know.
Yo, Hooker's still a guy that barely got past some really B-level opponents. And his best name is still Terry fucking Flanagan, dog. Like, what are you talking about here?
Shout out to Gary.
Would Mikey beat him? Absolutely, fam. The only guy that would give...
You look so incredulous right now.
The only guy that would give Mikey any trouble at 140 is Progress.
Calm those eyebrows down, bro. Calm those eyebrows.
No,
they're gonna knock your hat off.
Not Taylor. Even I'm sorry. I'm apologies. But
waving motherfucker.
I think Taylor would.
Taylor's close.
Do you think
Taylor's close? Taylor gives him a decent fight, but Progress gives him a better fight. Absolutely.
So you've definitely got Progress beating Taylor.
I don't think Mikey beats Taylor or Progress. And
what?
Dude, I think I don't.
Yo, you need to check yourself, man.
Taylor's fucking huge, man.
He's gonna grab the mic and everything in a minute.
Just grab the mic. Go crazy here.
Stop. Okay.
How unrivaled Jose Ramirez beats Mikey.
I can't believe you, of all people, will now discount and disrespect Mikey so much after only an Earl Spence loss where he jumped up 2 weight classes.
He didn't look good at 140 in any of his fights.
He still beat Sergey Lepinets.
He didn't look great doing it.
He still beat him.
He's not good at that weight.
And I think
go back to 135.
I think Lipinets is a 50-50 fight for a guy like Regis Progress and Josh Taylor right now.
No.
Stop.
No.
Stop.
I don't agree with that. I don't think most people agree with that.
Oh, smasher. That's excellent.
God, this is so bad, man. This is, I don't know, Foo. I can't even look at you right now.
Smasher. Yes, you can, because you are right now.
I fundamentally don't agree with your take on Mikey Garcia because you think he loses to everyone apparently, and that's just
everyone.
That's just so sad, man. He's in a 50-50 fight with Loma, and that's it. That is it. From 130 to 140. That is the only 50-50 fight for Mikey Garcia is Lomachenko. Come on, man. And Teofimo Lopez, obviously.
And that's why he's on my list.
Thumbs up. You guys are both crazy.
Mikey's still pound for pound. What are you talking about?
Mm.
You really think him jumping up 2 weight classes automatically discounts him that way?
Do you think he's definitely pound for pound?
No.
Or is it subjective?
It is subjective. But I'll put it this way. If we spread out to a top 20 pound for pound, Mikey is definitely top 20 pound for pound. Without a doubt.
For sure.
Without a doubt.
Errol Spence is in my 20.
Okay, fuck off, Rob. And Hooker, he's not even a top 100 pound for pound fighter.
Stop.
So I don't know, guys. Like you guys.
Yeah, I got Errol like 19, maybe.
Lunatic saying, by the way, Matt, Progress' best win is also Terry Flanagan. True. Absolutely true. But I think he did a lot better job against Flanagan than Hooker. Let's just be honest. And I still think Mikey beats Progress. I don't think even a Progress fight is 50-50. That's a competitive fight though, but it's not a 50-50 fight. Mikey beats everyone at 140 right now. He could go to 140 right now and be undisputed. Easily.
Yogi. I've realized Fu knows nothing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yogi.
Hey, Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Come on. Yogi. Anyway, I love you.
Yogi just wisened up there. Ready to go.
I wonder what
finally someone in this chat.
Anyways, moving on to a topic that I don't want to talk about, but it's the heavyweights again, guys. Woohoo! Talk about Anthony Josh from Deontay Wilder talk, guys. Yeah. Anthony Joshua made his hit list for the rest of the year. It's Deontay Wilder, then Usyk. And he went on and on about how much he really wants the Wilder fight, and I believe him. Cool. Also, just to connect it with Wilder news, and also to connect it with my point, I want to say either earlier this week or last week about how that the Fox promotion of Spence Garcia sort of set the new bar for pay-per-views in terms of promotion. I like that CBS/Showtime is following through with that and putting a guy like Deontay Wilder in front of the NCAA Final Four tournament, where he was seen like by 13 million people. Don't scoff at that, Rob. That's like over 1/6 of the UK population. That's a lot of people to watch you talk about a fight. And even though it's the Brazil fight, let's be honest, we all know they're in marination mode. They're setting up for the big fight later. And maybe this year, maybe next year.
I didn't scoff at it. It's just I'm remembering boxing Twitter where people were claiming the reason it was at 13 point something million was because Deontay Wilder was appearing.
I never saw anyone to claim that.
No, I did. And they were told.
Please send me.
Well, it's understandable. He is the world's most famous boxer.
See, but Rob, what you do is you take these mentions in your Twitter feed.
He's going to play.
Anyways, AJ mentioned Wilder. AJ mentioned Wilder next after Miller. Obviously, Wilder is being heavily pushed by CBS and Showtime right now. Thoughts on AJ's call out and hit list, Rob? I mean, this is your topic. You said the king has spoken, so speak. You're his herald, so speak for the king.
Ducking Pulev, huh? Not a good look. No.
Thank you for that. I needed that.
He could have seized the opportunity to be the defender of all women, and he's blown it. The PR people have blown it. No, I like that list. Whatever. Yeah, it's. I was just saying we were sending topics, so I sent the topics. It's as long as he's saying he wants Wilder next, that's all what people want to hear. If he starts saying other names, it's just something to jump on straight away. So yeah, keeps calling out Wilder. That's good.
Foo in the chat, man. Like Foo is wilding, saying that Mikey is quote too slow and progress is gonna.
I didn't say that.
Who was that? Was that a Johnny? It
Bro,
was.
You're just trying to throw shots at me. I can't even look at you right now.
It was definitely you. I feel like. Oh no, it was a Johnny. A Johnny. I saw the wrench, man. I'm sorry, a Johnny. You're wilding now. No, stop that. The disrespect on Mikey is unreal.
James Burrow's got bants, I tell you. Absolutely. Rob's opinion is brought to you by Tetley. That's teabags, by the way. So he's suggesting I'm teabagging Joshua with my comments, I guess.
I like that. That's good. But anyways,
damn.
I still don't think Wilder. AJ.
Hey, is it ragu because I'm Italian?
Anyways, I still don't think AJ Wilder happens next. We don't care, Foo. Being racist against Italians is completely acceptable. We know that. But yeah, I don't think AJ Wilder happens next, and it doesn't matter anymore. Let's be honest.
No.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Fuck heavyweights.
Anyways, Canelo Jacobs undercard has been finalized. Last couple topics. Let's run through this and then go to callers. Dave Lemieux, John Ryder, a bunch of other Golden Boy prospects. Not a bad undercard for the $20 for the new people and the $10 for the old grandfathered in DAZN subscribers. And let's be honest, Canelo Jacobs is good enough for me. Like that's all I need, especially in today's age when that could be a $75 pay-per-view. Also, Ryzen CEO clarified what the whole Manny Pacquiao thing was. It's basically just him showing up and taking pictures. Whoop-de fucking do. Also, stitching back to heavyweights, Eddie Hearn has said that he has signed Zilly Zhang in a co-promotional deal with Rock Nation. He will be added to next week's O2 card, possibly against Tom Little per IFL. I think that's a good signing. Also, good sort of matchup for Zhang because he's sort of done nothing. And if he has done something, it's been against absolutely nobody. So he needs just to fight at this point. Like he needs a quick fight against somebody. And Tom Little, we know his name, at least in some capacity. Any last thoughts on these last topics, gentlemen?
Another signing there, Matt. I don't know if you saw it in the chat. In a one-on-one DB chat.
I'm pulling it up. Michael Hunter signing to Matchroom. Oh, hey. I don't have the breaking news soundbite in my soundboard yet.
After I've done all that work.
I'll find it. I'll find it in the chat, even though I have to scroll up a lot. That's a good signing. You know, like I've said, I don't think Michael Hunter is going to wow anyone. I think he's a borderline top 15 guy. He's another Bryant Jennings to me. But there is value in people that are sort of that talented, that ranking in boxing. There is.
Like Zhang as well, Chinese market. I don't know whether DAZN China's looking at landing anywhere, but you know, it's I guess a big market for sort of like the shop window, Matchroom in the shop window for people to view, or don't know where their rights get shown in China or what or anything like that. But obviously, that's a big market to aim at. So yeah, I'm sure these guys will be in some fights against certain names, and like you say, there's value to anyone in the sort of top 15, 20, fringe sort of, in the 30s or whatever, that are gonna slowly move up and down within the ranks themselves and get fights against, it's positional fights for maybe the cream to sort of rise. So what other news? Pacquiao, whatever, who cares? I didn't care when I thought he might be fighting, and I don't care that he's not fighting in it. It's just that's for the mixed combat part of this show. I'm sure you'll do a deep dive on it on an MMA show.
No, I think we talked about it yesterday, and we both didn't care. Let's be honest.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm ready for callers. I don't know if Fu wants to bring up anything.
No, I don't know shit. Yogi said it.
But Fu, you did just say Loma gets washed at 140. Lomachenko beats Maurice Hooker.
Yeah, but he's not going to be super competitive at that weight, I don't think.
No, but I think
it's too big.
To say he gets washed at 140, come on, man. Like, as a Loma stan, I'm ashamed that you even said that.
I'm just going to be real. I don't think he's good at that weight.
But he may not be good at that weight, but he still beats champions. He could so easily get a belt. Possibly. Come on. We overrate Hooker now, guys. I think it's official. Hooker got some good wins.
I didn't say he could beat Hooker. You
think Hooker can beat Loma and Mikey? You are crazy. Where's Hooker on your pound for pound list? Huh?
Do you guys see this is Matt putting words in my mouth? I did not say that.
Okay, who wins? Loma or Maurice Hooker?
Hooker. No, I'm just playing. Loma would beat him.
Okay, then how can you say he gets washed at 140?
Because anyone with power at 140 is going to beat Loma.
Hooker has power.
Nah, not like what I'm saying is like Prograis is not the boxer Loma is, but would you give him a chance against Prograis?
Yes.
Dude, I don't know that I would. I'd have to see it because I just saw him get knocked down by Linares. I saw him get...
I think 147 is obviously the step too far for Loma, but 140, he can easily get some wins there. Now, yes, they are difficult. Yes, they are difficult fights, but I think Loma is still the favorite against Prograis, Taylor, and Hooker. That's what real pound for pound is. Come on, man. Same with Mikey. Anyways, let's go to callers. Unrivaled in Ireland.
Greetings.
Hello.
What's up?
Pause the pawn.
Can you guys hear me okay, yeah?
Yeah. Have you paused the pawn?
Right. Where will we start with all of this? Where will we start?
Wherever you want.
At the beginning?
Well, mate, it's been a long call. I mean...
It has.
I can't remember what we started out with, if I'm being honest.
The fights this weekend.
Right, which fights? There's only a couple of fights, really,
Hammer.
That really matters.
On Shields, Hammer. Shields and Hammer.
Yeah, it's a good fight. It's an interesting fight, at least. You've got two opposite styles fighting each other. Clarissa, she comes forward. She has some holes in her defense, which you think Hammer could exploit, especially because Hammer's got decent feet and a good jab. But is this 12 rounds 2 minutes or 12 rounds 3 minutes or what?
I don't think they've changed the rules for this one. I think it's 12 2-minute rounds, 10 2-minute rounds.
That will favour Hammer. I feel like if this was 3-minute rounds, Clarissa would be able to break her down. Clarissa's got decent power, but she's not a pure knockout artist. Hammer, though, when you get on top of her, you can smother her work. And she's the type of fighter like who will bitch out when things get tough. I've seen her when things have gotten tough. She kind of tries to look for ways out, and she just manages to get through the fight. Clarissa's much bigger, much stronger than anybody Hammer's ever fought against. So it's definitely interesting. I personally think because of a few different things, I think it'll be a tight decision, but I think Clarissa might nick it. That's being honest. But I if it was in another country, I'd say that Hammer would probably nick it, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
So if this was in Germany, I'd be picking Hammer. If it's in America, I'm picking Clarissa. So it's one of those. It's a true 50-50 fight. What else is happening on the weekend? Because I haven't really looked. I've been busy as hell.
Loma, Crolla, Munguia, Hogan. That's about it.
Oh my god. So,
also the PBC card, Truax, Quillen, and then there's a bunch of prospects on it.
Out of all of those fights, the most competitive one seems to be Truax and Quillen. That's an interesting enough fight. It's not great, but it's interesting. Loma's just way ahead of Crolla. No offense to Crolla, but like the only thing Crolla has in his favor is that he's bigger than Loma. That's about it. that didn't work out too well for Pedraza or Linares. So Loma will either stop him late on, or he'll win via unanimous decision. Simply put, if Crolla wins this, it'd be one of the biggest upsets I've seen in boxing in quite a long time. I mean, he's just leaps and bounds ahead, isn't he?
Yeah. I think Crolla's 80-1 underdog.
80-1 underdog.
Something like that.
I saw the most hilarious tweet today.
I'm a gambler, man, and I wouldn't put money on Crolla to win this one. I'm a gambler, man. So
there's a really good tweet today that had Crawford Khan, Loma, Crolla, and it was like, in case you don't understand betting, if you bet $10, you'll lose $10.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it's fucking funny.
Although if the upsets happened, you'd be a millionaire, wouldn't you? Surely.
Yeah.
If you bet $10 on both of them at a double. Like if you had Khan by knockout and Crolla by knockout over Loma and Crawford, the combined odds probably catch you like about 80 grand or some shit.
I think for just those guys to win is a combined 170-1 or something.
Yeah, but then you got to take into account when you do like a double at 170-1, the odds also will multiply as well. So it's probably about 362-1. Yeah. So it's not bad, man, for two fights, but it's impossible. So that's that. Who's Munguia fighting? Hogan?
Yeah, some guy. Happy Hogan.
Yeah, that's a nothing fight. Munguia's level of competition is going down now. Hogan ain't anything, so that fight will probably be a stoppage to Munguia. So, and then Quillen and Truax, I reckon Quillen's gonna win that by a tight decision. But it's not going to be easy. Truax is a strong guy. He's robust, and he'll give him some problems. Does anyone disagree?
I'll be honest. I'm working on something else on the side, so I'm just letting you have the floor, Unrivaled.
Oh, yeah, that's perfectly fine.
I'm sorry.
You tell Paulie's side piece to be a good girl. Right, so where else are we going to go, Rob? What else can we talk about?
What else can we talk about? We spoke. What do you think of Matchroom signings, Zhilei Zhang and Michael Hunter?
Zhilei Zhang is a 20-0 Chinese prospect. I think he's a 2-time bronze medalist at the amateur games, if I'm not mistaken. Joshua beat him, I believe, as well in the amateurs, in the Olympics.
Yeah.
In 2012. So 2007, 2009, and maybe 2008, I think he collected 3 bronze medals between the amateurs and the Olympics. So he's got a decent amateur background. It's a good enough signing. I mean, it's a market signing. It's not like a legitimate. It's not like a Filip Hrgovic, if you will. It's not like he's going to. They're looking at this guy to be a real contender. He's not. He gets beat by everybody inside the top 15. There's a reason he's not there. But it's a market signing, and we could see a fight in China between possibly Joshua and Zhilei Zhang in 2021. Who knows? I mean, it's a 1.6 billion people market. There's a lot of money there, I reckon. And they could do that at the Board's Nest Stadium. Eddie's been talking about that for about 3 years, hasn't he?
Something like that. I remember it popped up again recently because he was trying to work with him before, but he didn't get a visa or something like that, I think. He was going to be on a card.
And they also signed, who was it, Michael Hunter?
Michael Hunter, yeah.
That's a very good sign. Michael Hunter is one of these guys who's a competitive fight and a stiff contest for nearly anybody. The only person he's lost to, he gave him arguably his second toughest fight outside of Maris Briedis, and that was Usyk at cruiserweight. Other than that, like he beat Bakoli. Bakoli just stopped Marius Vac. He beat Ustinov. Ustinov, he's old now and he's big and he's slow, but still, it's an all right win for a cruiserweight coming up. So this guy is a perennial top 20 heavyweight right now, maybe top 22. It really depends on how you want to do it, but it's a good signing. And I like him, man. I think he's slick. I think he's interesting, and I'd like to see him get a decent fight by the end of this year. Who knows? I would have absolutely no problem seeing maybe towards the end of 2019, if we don't get all the fights we want, I'd have no problem seeing Michael Hunter fight against Dillian White. I think it'd be very interesting.
Yeah. What about? Do you think the Yard is going to Russia as being reported to fight Kovalev?
I don't know, man. I honestly don't know. I hope he does. Right, here we are. I hope he does go to Russia. I hope he does take the opportunity. I hope he does go into a real Lions Den. Going to Russia to fight Sergey Kovalev, who, let's be real, is one of the most proven commodities in all of boxing. We all know what he's capable of. He got beat by Leader Alvarez via stoppage, right? And other than that, he only lost to Andre Ward. And both of those fights are controversial. So, one stoppage loss and then to a pound-for-pound number one. Sergey Kovalev is a genuinely very good fighter. He's also now gotten to the point where he's so experienced, he's able to old man you. He can stick on the jab. He can move around. He can really box. And he's got power. And Yard's beating Sekloka. You'd have to think Kovalev's leaps and bounds too high. It's a massive level step up, isn't it? Like, it would have to be one of the biggest upsets in recent history if he were to do it. But I want to see him have the fight. Mm-hmm. I want to see him take it. And all the shit that they've been talking for the last couple of years, specifically Tunde Ajayi, I really want to see them actually step up and take this fight. And if they do, you can only commend it. You can only give them applause. You can only say fair play. You're going over to Russia to fight against Sergey Kovalev in his real backyard, and give yourself a fight against a top 20 pound for pound fighter. So, yeah, I don't think anyone would argue against Kovalev being in the top 20 in the pound for pound list, would they?
In the 20? Yeah, I'm sure.
Kovalev? Yeah, probably.
So yeah, that's good. It's a good thing. It's good to see a prospect fighting against a legit world champion. I've asked a lot of people, who do you think's the weakest champion at 175? And I've never heard anybody say Kovalev. I haven't heard anybody say he's the best champion right now, but I haven't heard anybody say he's the weakest. So that's something that interests me. That's something that genuinely interests me. Mm-hmm. So Kovalev, he's a stiff competition. It's like going from level 1 to level 100 in Pokemon with a rare candy treat, isn't it?
I guess.
That's a tough fight. It's a big leap. But if he takes the fight...
This is a great reference,
I don't know.
How do you rank the 175 champs?
Oh, God. This is going to be like an argument for pound, isn't it?
It's easy.
Bozdik is lineal. He's got the best win. So he's lineal. He's got the best win. He's the ring champion. Even I'm not doing this based off skills. I'm just going to do it off of merit and resume, if that's all right. So I'm gonna have Bozdik right now as of what he's achieved. Number 1. Number 2, I'm gonna have Kovalev. Number 3, I'm gonna have Bivol, and 4, I'm gonna have Beterbiev. I'm not racing it off of like their talents or anything like that. I'm just basing it off what they've achieved. And I think Kovalev has more achievements than Bozdik, but recently less achievements. But Kovalev is a 2-time world champion, is he not? He's been a 3-time. He's had 3 belts as well. He unified 3 belts at one stage. Arguably beat Ward. I mean, so you can switch around him and Bozdik if you want, but them 2 at the top and then Bivol and Beterbiev need to prove that they're better.
I'd agree with that.
Somebody.
I'd agree with that. I think Vojdik's going to end up being the top 175.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't think he beats Bivol or Beterbiev. I really don't. Oh. I think Vojdik's chin is as questionable as Beterbiev. Beterbiev is stronger. I think Beterbiev would knock his ass clean out.
Well,
And
I just
think
hope we
Bivol
get to
will
see
just
those
thoroughly
fights.
outbox Wojtek. I'm not convinced that Wojtek will beat Marcus Brownlee.
I think Marcus Brown is very good. I think he'll give
Marcus
a lot
Brown
of guys
is very
trouble.
good, but he's not even a champion.
Yeah, but I think he'd give a lot of them trouble.
He would. I mean, he also was given a lot of trouble by Beterviev's next opponent, Hot Rod. I mean, some people believe Hot Rod beat Marcus Brown. And I'm a bit of a fan of Marcus Brown, but I think Hot Rod beat him, personally. So, I mean, people are now jumping on the Marcus Brown bandwagon because of the Badou Jack fight.
Mm-hmm.
Badou Jack, like, people are also saying, like, Stevenson was shot after the Jack fight. Badou Jack had, like, 5 or 6 hard fights in a row going into that. That could have been just a war-torn Badou. Just like a war-torn James DeGale. Just like a war-torn George Groves.
Yeah, I can see your point. He didn't really have any, like, kind of easy touches in between some, but I still think that Brown's just I still think Brown gives all those guys a tough fight. I don't think that's why he beat Jack, but that's just my take.
I mean, he's got a good job. He's got good feet, but if you get on top of him, he struggles. Badou Jack, whilst he's good, I don't think Badou Jack was able to get on top of him the way a Beterbiev could, in all honesty. A Beterbiev could get on top of him and hurt him badly. Yeah. Because Beterbiev's jab is underrated, and it's definitely, I'd say pound for pound, he has the most powerful jab in boxing right now. Pound for pound. I'm not talking any of his other punches, just the jab. It's sickening. It's like a 175 Golovkin. It's just so stiff, and I can see him knocking people out with that jab. But yeah, I'd have a Kovalev, Wojtek, Bivol, and Beterbiev. I'd have Beterbiev at the bottom because his resume, to me, is the weakest. To me, he has the weakest resume at the champions. Then Bivol, then probably Wojtek, and then Kovalev. So Kovalev number 1 on resume. In terms of on style, Bivol's my favorite.
Anything else you want to talk about, Unrivaled?
Well, what else was brought up? I'm trying to remember something.
I don't have a lot of the topics up. I exited out of them, so I apologize.
No, that's perfectly fine. We ended up talking about Taylor and everything, Prograis, Lomachenko, and how that would go, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think Loma beats Morris Hooker. I also think Mikey beats Morris Hooker. Now, when we brought up the Mikey thing, you said Mikey, the only person who could give Mikey a 50-50 fight at 140 pounds is Prograis. And then you kind of backtracked and said, you don't even think it's a 50-50.
I backtracked. I did backtrack. Yeah, I did.
I would argue that Jose Ramirez would have too much volume for Mikey Garcia. I
think Mikey's a poor... I think Ramirez is a poor man's Mikey, to be honest.
I mean, they're completely different fighters.
Quite similar in ways.
What? Because they both jab and move, and they can move a little bit on their feet, and they have timing. I mean, Ramirez throws way more shots than Mikey. Mikey doesn't trade nearly as much as Ramirez, and Ramirez comes forward, whereas Mikey likes to sit around his opponents and go in and out. They're quite different. Very little similarities, other than being Mexican.
Their overall punch variety is very similar. Their lack of lateral movement is very similar. Their penchant for all their offense being dictated off of the jab is very similar. On top of that, I know that they've worked together in the past and they've sparred a lot together. So I would deem that. I think Jose Ramirez is Mikey Light. He's a diet version of Mikey Garcia. I don't think he does anything better than Mikey, other than volume.
Bigger than Mikey. I think Mikey'd be out of his depth in those fights. In all honesty, I think Prograis would flatline him, if I'm being honest, and I think Taylor would beat the living shit out of him, and I think Ramirez would beat him on points by a close decision, but I think he beat him on points. I think Mikey's way topped out at 140. You can bring up the Lipinets win all you want, but Lipinets ain't that good.
Lipinets has beat Lamont Peterson in a really good fight. What are you talking about?
Lipinets beat a retiring Lamont Peterson.
That's
Lamont Peterson.
That's still a better win than anything Jose Ramirez has.
I mean, I don't know. I think Orozco could have beat him. In all honesty, could have beat Lamont Peterson, but the way Lamont Peterson's gone, especially after the beating.
The Orozco, the same Orozco that was passing out making weight, I don't think so. I think Sergey Lipinets beats Maurice Hooker. I think Sergey Lipinets can arguably beat Prograis Taylor as well. I think people give Lipinets too much shit. But if you think Mikey isn't good enough to beat those guys, or he's too small to beat those guys, that's your opinion. Absolutely is your opinion. You're entitled to it.
I mean,
I wish you treated me that way.
Stay in your lane.
You sound like everybody's wife right now, Jesse.
It's like I like to do that. That's the second time I've been told that today.
Yeah, the other time was by me. Anyways,
I know.
Back to Unrivaled. But yeah, I think Mikey and Loma could do quite well 140.
Beats Victor Postal.
I think I think he does.
I don't. Postal too big.
Okay.
Anyway,
maybe we do all rate him too low now.
I think you guys do. I think it's very clear that you guys have been discounting Mikey a lot from an Earl Spence fight when Earl Spence is light years ahead of people like Victor Postal, even guys like Regis Prograis, Josh Taylor. Like, we have to keep it a buck here, guys. Like, Spence is pound for pound. Spence has arguably the best record at that division right now. So, and plus, it was 2 divisions above. It's not 1 division above at 140. I think the size difference, yes, it does have a factor at 140, but it's not as much of a factor at 147 against Earl Spence. Come on, guys.
Come on, guys.
Come on. No. Stop. But anyways, guys, we're going to check and see if Blog Talk working. I know people say it's down. 901. I think this is Mr. DAZN. Mr. DAZN.
Yo, what's up? How y'all doing today? How y'all doing today, brothers? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you. I assume my panel can hear you. I doubt you can hear them.
Okay.
So quickly, let's just test this.
Okay.
Fu, I'm going to have Fugatti speak here, and let me know if you hear him. Fu.
What up, Mr. DAZN?
Fugatti. What's up, Gotti?
Did you hear Fugatti?
No.
No, I can't hear Fugatti.
Nah, well, you can only hear me then. So you can have your call, Mr. DAZN. You don't worry about it, because you can hear me at least.
Okay, of course. I can't wait. Hey, I just want to salute this show right here, MCR Net. When it comes to mixed martial arts and boxing, there's only one place that I go to watch both, and that's MCR Net. You know, mixed combat radio, top of the line. Shout out to my brother Matt. Even though me and you, Matt, sometimes we go at it. It's just there's nothing wrong with a friendly debate. You know what I mean, Matt?
Of course.
I don't mean any harm, by the way. Okay, Matt?
Of course.
I just wanted to let you know I don't mean any harm, and I'm not trying to give you a hard time or anything, brother. I really love this show. You know what I mean?
It's okay. It's boxing. It's boxing. Let's debate boxing, man. Like, if we can't debate sports with complete unhinged anger and laugh about it later, then what are we here for?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite shows right here. To be honest, I only watched this show and The Boxing Voice, and it's crazy that you actually was on The Boxing Voice. So, man, it's just crazy, man. And I just want to talk about the topic right now. I want to speak on Claressa Shields versus the Hammer. And I think this is the biggest fight in women's boxing history when you look at it. I mean, Claressa Shields, she's the only woman boxer in history to win 2 gold medals. And, I mean, she hasn't even been in double-digit fights yet. I think this is her 9th fight, or she has won 9 fights, and she's already fighting to be undisputed. And that's very big. And I don't think women boxers, they get the credit they deserve. So hopefully Claressa Shields, she gets the credit she deserves when she wins this fight. I'm almost 100% guaranteed that she's going to win this fight. And one thing about her, my brother called her the Serena Williams of boxing. You know, she got hands and she got ass. You know what I mean? So I'm all for it, bro. I like Clarissa Shields, man. I think she's a future star in boxing. And I just want to say what's up to you, Matt. And also I just want to say what's up to Fugatti and Ron. I love this show, guys. So, man, I'll be calling in soon.
Yeah, you just call me Ron. That's fine.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, he's not.
He can't hear you. He can't hear you, so it's okay.
I know. I'm telling the rest of the people that are listening.
Yeah, no.
God damn. Are you going to talk to him then? Because he's the only one fucking you can correspond
No, I muted him. That was a sign off, man. We're good. God, that was so good, man. That made my day. You know, God, and plus the other thing that happened, and that they didn't hear you either, Rob. Like, man, you're just having a rough day here, man. It's okay.
It's all right.
First pound for pound, now this. But anyways, I think Santiago wants to get his picks off and talk about the event as well. And plus, he knows what the sound situation is, so he's fully aware of it. Santiago in LA, what's up, man?
I can just say
what's up, man? What's up, Pooh? What's up, Rob? It's a shame I can't hear you, but at least I can hear my bud, and I'll be seeing you at the barbecue. Happy this fight's happening. You remember that a while back when we talked about some of the fights we hoped to see last year. This was one of the fights that I mentioned. It's definitely one of the biggest fights that could be made for women's boxing for sure, because for me at least, right? When you look back at all the other fights during the early days, like when you had Lucia Riker, Ann Wolf, Laila Ali, there were fights that could have been made that for one reason or another didn't get made, and they were left with, they were left to the imagination. So the fact that this fight did get made, the fact that it's just a few days away now, they had the final press conference. We're going to have the weigh-in. We're going to have the, on Showtime and everything. It's something to be excited for, and something that I hope helps continue propelling women's boxing up there, because, these women have done a lot for their careers, and this is the boost that, the women in the UFC are already accustomed to. There's bigger and better things to look forward to at this point. For the fight itself, I'm definitely picking Clarissa Shields on this one. I'm very concerned that the fact that Hammer is pretty tentative with the way she punches, some of her choice selections with the punches could factor in and leave her open to counters by Shields, because Shields is pretty aggressive. I definitely feel that if Shields is able to get Hammer on the ropes, that she could just unload. But at the same time, Shields needs to be very careful, because that jab is a stiff jab, in my opinion. It's got pretty decent snap, and it could easily kill her momentum coming forward if she's not careful. Crolla, Lomachenko. I like Crolla. You already know this. I went through the whole effort to watch the first Linares Crolla fight on that Cloud TV shit way back when, and it would be nice if he won. Obviously, that to me is in the realm of fantasy. I think he's going to give it as good as he can, but obviously I'm picking Lomachenko stoppage sometime later in the 11th or 10th round. Expect him to do what he usually does, keep busy, and that's all she wrote after that. And as for the other cards, I don't really care much for them, to be honest with you. There's a reason why I'm going to the barbecue. Otherwise, I would have probably been like, sorry, guys, I'm going to stay home, watch all the fights as best I can, and do my usual fight updates. But nope, that ain't happening. Not worth it. Like you, some good prospects, but as soon as they're done fighting, I'm tuning out. I'm going back to watching the fights that actually do matter to me at that point. And then don't care much for the Klitschko thing, because as far as I'm concerned, it's just talk. He's already retired. He's had a good career. Definitely tired of Wilder Joshua shit. Don't want to touch on that. If Fu or Rob have any questions that they want to ask regarding any of the topics that they have regarding this, feel free to have them tell you so you can tell me. And if you have any questions, like all the same. Otherwise, that's my call. Keep going, and kudos to applying for the credentials. Hopefully you get them, and it should be a fun fight going there as a fan and as a media member.
Definitely, Santiago. Definitely. Thank you for the call, as always, and excited to see you and the crew for the barbecue. Especially since I'm finally feeling better. Like I'm finally turned the corner on my cold, so that's good. I don't feel like complete shit and sickness and the Black Plague right now. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the show today. Final thoughts time. Mr. Fugatti, final thoughts. Let the people know where to find you. All that good shit.
Fugatti MCR, no underscore any longer. Matt made me take it out of there, but
yeah, I did make you.
But yeah, you can find me at Instagram, Twitter. Final thoughts. Great show, guys. The chat was funny as always. I think I got made fun of a lot this show, which is a sign of the fact that people are coming around to me. They're willing to make fun of me now. So let's keep that going. Yogi, hit me up on Twitter if you want to talk. I'm always willing to get educated, Yogi. So come at me. But yeah, man, good show. Thanks, guys.
Robert.
Do you mean Ronert?
What up, Ron? How you doing, Ron?
Yeah, all good. Nah, he's realised his mistake. He's just apologised in the chat. It's all good, man. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine.
But no, definitely don't apologize, Mr. DAZN, because now you gave us a great inside joke. We will beat to fucking death. So thank you for that.
Well, if you're gonna try and get hold of me by continuously saying Ron, then expect no replies.
I'm definitely sending you a lot of text messages with just Ron going forward. Come on.
Okay. If you wonder where I am, you better hit Rob. Good show. UK Rob MCR or Ron, whichever you want. You could try UK Ron MCR, but you won't get me. Good show. Chat as always. Callers as always. It's always good. Enjoy that. Good luck to Crolla, going up against one of the very best, maybe even, possibly a once in a, generation type fighter. Who knows? I guess we'll find out when Crolla, Lomachenko finishes his career, just where he stands on the grand scheme of things. But so good luck to my UK guy out there in LA. I'm sure we'll be back. See what's happening tomorrow if there's any news. But Crolla is obviously Friday night, I guess. Maybe early Saturday morning for me.
Maybe a Patreon show tomorrow. I don't know.
Maybe
just like an early edition of Boxing Banter. There's not a lot to talk about.
Such a tease.
Because you're not working like for a few days. You're like a little mini vacay right now.
I'm working Saturday, but and then I'm off Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Saturday's not tomorrow, so it's lit.
I know what days the days.
You're working Saturday? Not Friday though, right?
Not Friday, no. Yo. But yeah. Hit that thumbs up, share the show. Patreon / or whatever. Patreon.com / Mixed Combat Radio. Go support the show.
Do it.
Because
or else.
Guys have you've helped. You really helped. So
Rob's definitely saying that now because he got paid. So whoa.
I want to nail that sales pitch.
Yeah.
The more that you can help, the more you can help. That's fine. No, seriously, cheers to everybody. It's always good to support. Still waiting on YouTube.
Yo, YouTube has just been.
Yo, did you see? I commented on another person. They've been going through the process. They're into their 7th month waiting for approval.
It's gonna be a while before we get monetized on YouTube, guys. It looks
we need to start a movement, guys.
I'll be honest, guys. I have a theory as to why that is. I think it's in large part due to the amount of cussing we have on the show, and cursing and profanity. If you look at like big channels, they don't allow cursing on their channels. If you look at that, I think there's a reason why. I think it's due to.
I don't. Apparently, it's manually done. It's all. Everything is. I don't know how many they have.
We gotta watch our mouth.
So cuntish.
I can't do that. No.
That's my theory.
That's
my theory.
Movement, guys.
That's my theory.
Let's get everyone on Twitter. Yeah. Hashtag monetize MCR.
The net.
At YouTube. And let's go. Just go fucking harass them till they monetize us.
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, I've harassed YouTube before for like things like, remember when we got a live band? Remember for what was that? We did a live fight time. Remember what was it? Was it
recently?
What, Rob? Sorry.
Just recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what card was that? But it was
a UK card.
I emailed directly the company.
It was Eubanks de Gale because it
was
because it was pay-per-view and it was the UK, and I know that always fucks with us, man.
We hadn't even gone live. It was like live fight chat. Oh, you're not allowed to go live. You're not going to. What do you mean?
90 seconds.
Calm down, Siri. We will leave in a second when we want to.
Smasher just crushed it. He said longest goodbye ever.
And you love these long goodbyes, guys. You love it.
All right. Bye, Smasher.
Whoa.
Oh, bye, Rob.
Wow, Rob. Well, quick things to the chat before I leave. Why we don't have 3 screens, because the system we use doesn't allow that. Also, somebody asked for intros. You guys won't get intros mainly because
60 seconds.
My own co-hosts don't have intros. So let's keep it 100. They will get an intro before you, and I'm not making them an intro anytime recently or soon in the near future. Digressing. Have a great day, great night. Peace.
Peace.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Stay off the weed.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?